If we're honest for a moment, Apex is in a bit of a tough spot right now, and it has a lot of people thinking, what are Respawn going to do to pull the game back, because the player numbers are so low, and it just seems like nobody really wants to play the game right now. Well, luckily for us, there's been loads of leaks that we can look at so we can see what's coming in the future, and how the game's going to change. For example, this first leak is really similar to one of Fortnite's seasons they had recently. If you're not aware, Fortnite had a season called Fortnite OG, where they basically reverted the game to a version from a few years ago, and it seems Respawn are planning to do the same thing, because in the files right now, there are references of Respawn adding the OG stats of the original weapons into the game, meaning they could be preparing for a mode where they remove all of the new legends, all of the new guns, and basically put us back at Season 1 with the Season 1 balance changes. So the Wingman will be absolutely OP, and Wraith will likely be very OP, because if you're not aware, back in Season 1 and 2, the Wingman and Wraith were the go-to picks, so we may actually have our own little OG event soon. But one thing we haven't had in the game for a long time, 5 seasons now, is a new gun, and it seems Respawn are planning to add a new gun very soon, but first they're going to add a new gun gameplay feature. Next season, it does seem kind of likely that Respawn are going to add an akimbo mode to the P2020 and Mozambique, which I talked about yesterday, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it also seems very likely, thanks to previous leaks, that the season after that they are going to be adding a new weapon, which is rumoured to be a long-range shotgun that uses arrows as the ammunition. This leak came along with the leak that Season 23 is going to be a bit of a hunter and bow themed season, because apparently Vantage's mum is going to be added as a legend called Artemis in Season 23 of Apex. As always, these are heavy rumours, and these are literally for next season, but I know a lot of you are waiting for a new gun to come to Apex, so I'm sure this is good news to at least some of you. Sticking to the leaks for next season though, Respawn are going to be adding some brand new heirlooms to the game. First of all, we basically have one heirloom confirmed. We're going to get a Bangalore Heirloom recolor. We actually know this through two ways. First of all, there are references in the files to a Bangalore Heirloom recolor, and also Bangalore's heirloom got a brand new inspect animation in the mid-season update where she pulls out her smoke launcher. And the only times we see Respawn add new inspect animations to heirlooms is just before that heirloom gets a recolor. So next season we're definitely getting a Bangalore Heirloom recolor. So if you want that, maybe save up a bit of money. And also thank you to new files in the mid-season patch. In the coming seasons, we are going to get a brand new universal heirloom, which isn't the Cobalt guitar, and it seems this new universal heirloom is going to be in the style of a karambit. We're not exactly sure if it's going to follow the same pricing or customization as the Cobalt guitar, but there's one thing we know for certain: it is going to be a karambit type knife, which I think is going to be pretty popular despite people not liking universal heirlooms. And I mean, hopefully Respawn do fix the monetization system on universal heirlooms. Speaking of ridiculously expensive cosmetics though, this season we are going to get a new expensive cosmetic just before the season ends, and this is going to be a Havoc reactive recolor, which is going to be the rare reward in an upcoming event called Void Reckoning. The type of event this gun is going to be sold in is a milestone event, and it is going to be the rarest reward in the milestone event, much like how in the Final Fantasy event the sword was the rarest reward, meaning you will most likely get this gun if you buy out the full event rather than getting lucky, unfortunately, making this once again a very expensive reactive skin. When this comes out, people aren't going to be very happy at all. Let's talk about actual content rather than skins though, because it does seem like next season we are going to get a very large content drop, because right now it looks like we are finally getting a new map. Right now, you may not be aware, but this is the longest time we have gone without getting a new Apex map, with it being nearly 7 seasons since Broken Moon released. And next season it does look like we are getting a brand new map called District, which is going to be a city map, and you've probably seen it a few times if you've been keeping up in Apex lore. First of all, there was a rough picture of the District map drawn out in the Watson Town takeover, and also it was literally straight up shown in this story from the Outlands on Duardo's tablet, but it was shown in better detail during the Altered Horizons story from the Outlands, because this whole story from the Outlands takes place inside the next Apex map in the literal point of interests that are going to be present in the new map. Obviously, because this is a set piece for an animated video, the map isn't going to be one-to-one of what you saw in this animation, but it gives you a good idea of the vibes of the next map and also what the map's going to be most similar to. And in my opinion, it basically just seems like a big version of Skyhook and Fragment from World's Edge. I'm very excited to play this map, and honestly, we've wanted a city map for so long. I'm so glad we're finally getting one, and hopefully this is the kick we need to bring some players back to Apex. And the vibe of the map being a city devastated by riots seems like a really cool setting. And if that's not enough for you, we already know about the next map update Respawn are going to be releasing after District comes out, which is a very long time in the future. But apparently Respawn are working on a brand new Olympus map update, where the affected areas are quite high traffic areas. Places like estates are going to be affected by the map update. This little bit here is going to be affected by the map update, and also eco towers are going to be affected by the map update. We don't know the exact season this is going to release. It could be season 23 or season 24, but we do know Respawn are actively working on this, and this map update may have actually been teased in the newest comic in the game, because there is a quite large explosion on Olympus. So maybe the method for the next Olympus update is literally something crazy gets blown up over there. Also, while I was looking at this picture of Olympus, I realized that it really takes the shape of the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Is that just me? And this season, if you are one of the few people who don't care about Battle Royale at all and you just grind out Mixtape all day, you are not being left out, don't worry, because there is going to be a new Mixtape mode called Big Team Deathmatch coming, which is basically Team Deathmatch, but it's 12v12. Big team fights. It's going to be pretty fun, and hopefully, if it does well, Respawn will add it permanently to the Mixtape rotation, because they need to change up the Mixtape rotation a bit. I feel like sometimes it gets a bit predictable, and I'd just love to see loads of modes chucked in there. One thing you may have realised though with this recent collection event is that a lot of people, including me, were saying the Pathfinder Prestige skin was going to be the reward, and it really seems like it until Respawn surprisingly came out with the Lifeline Prestige skin, which currently puts the already leaked Pathfinder Prestige skin in a bit of a limbo state, and it's probably ready, so I would also potentially expect that next season or some of the following seasons, because I know a lot of people are going to be really excited for the Pathy Prestige skin, because he's a really popular legend right now. Speaking of skins, if you're watching this video on the day it releases, in 4 days we are actually going to get a new store sale with some brand new skins, and one of the skins is going to be a Revenant skin, and also a Conduit skin, and also an Octane skin. These skins are pretty cool, and they actually follow the Battle Pass theme, so if you liked these Battle Pass skins, you will likely like these skins. But also, on the bad side, if you didn't like the Battle Pass, you probably won't like these skins. But I respect Respawn for really sticking to the Void theme this season. I really like when Respawn do very heavily themed seasons. And keeping up with these little skin stores that Respawn do, it does seem like next season we are going to get a skin store that has the theme of Vampire Hunter, which we don't know too much about, but you can't really go wrong with a vampire hunting theme. I'm just kind of visualizing something Van Helsing-like. And finally, continuing the Void theme, at the start of this season there was a new type of weapon leaked called a Void Weapon. In fact, there were voice lines for it in the files.
Void Weapon. Wonder if a Void Rampart is modding these buttes.
It's a Void Weapon. I remember which world this one is from.
And at the time when this leaked, we expected Void Weapons to be something that comes out mid-season, but now we've had the mid-season update and we've skimmed through the files, it doesn't seem like Void Weapons are coming. So, we have two options. These are either scrapped, or we're going to get a new type of weapons called Void Weapons next season, or after that. So, we also have that to wait for. Although, I feel like because this season has a Void theme, Respawn may have scrapped Void Weapons if they haven't come out already, because the next big update we're going to get is literally the Season 22 update. But regardless, I hope Season 22 is going to bring back a lot of players, and it has huge potential because August seasons usually bring back players who have dropped off the game throughout the year. And Season 22 is going to come out in August with a brand new map and hopefully a big bang. So let's just see what happens, and subscribe to keep updated with it.